Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Nibiru channel. We're doing a live hangout tonight with Chris Potter, Steve Olson, Jeff P., and Nige over there in the UK. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing great, Scott.
Yeah, doing great, buddy.
Scott.
What's happening, Chris?
Doing good if I can get my mute button to work right.
Well, we can leave everybody's mute button off because on this channel, nobody's getting censored. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why we wanted to have this hangout is we want to start to collaborate and we want to start exchanging information between Planet X, Nibiru, Nemesis investigators, whatever you want to call us. We are trying to find the truth in what's happening around the world and within our solar system. And everybody can clearly see by watching all of our videos. And if you're subscribed to all of us, that's fantastic. If not, make sure that you get to Chris's channel or Jeff or Steve or Nige and myself. Make sure you're subscribed to these channels. And there's a few other channels out there that put out some really good information. And the bottom line is there are so many things that are occurring right now around the world. And if you're not noticing it, then you're really not paying attention. We have worldwide flooding. We have wildfires that are just literally coming out of nowhere. We have a very serious earthquake situation. We have more than 35 volcanoes erupting around the world. We have very, very serious weather conditions, what they're calling now climate chaos. And these things are affecting our planet. And the bottom line is we're here to try and investigate and find answers. And all of us have a lot of subscribers. We owe it to all of you to present you with the information because this is what we're doing. We are investigating these topics. So when you come to our channel, this is what you're looking for. We're not writing a storybook. We're not in this for the money. We're not con artists. We are men investigating something that is occurring that has a very deep history going all the way back through the Bible. It's my belief that, the Bible is telling this story. There is a lot of proof out there. Gil Broussard, I think, does an excellent job with, with his investigations into, the biblical background, into what's happening now. So now that I've, introduced everybody, Chris does a fantastic job. He works very closely, as well as Steve Olson, with a physicist who has jumped on board, and she is also investigating and using her knowledge, her education, and her talents to help these guys out, because none of us are physicists. And this lady's very bright, very, very smart, and she is lending her theories on what's occurring. The information that Steve and Chris provide in these white papers is just absolutely the best. And yes, there are people out there that try to debunk this information, but the bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, we can clearly see what is happening to our planet. And we just want to get to the bottom of it. That's the bottom line. So I'm going to start off, Chris. I know you do, how many white papers do you have already that you've done presentations on?
I believe I have 80 white papers from the physicist that she has provided to me in reference to some of what's happening around the planet. I believe I have 69 or 70 specific white papers that are related to the presence of a brown dwarf star. The physicist is a theoretical particle physicist. She's the real deal. No, she's not an astronomer, but she actually has the credentials of a PhD in physics, where others do not at all. in any way, shape, or form. And because we're putting that material out in the form of a white paper where there's actual research being done totally outside of this person's current work situation. So it's done on their personal time, on their personal machine, in a, we'll just say an anonymous format. And I just put the presentation up and that's it. Our concern is, what's the problem? Why is there so much hate and anger towards the documentation? And then when we do get attacks, it's stuff like, you know, people going to folks' employers, the police, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, that's great. But folks aren't writing white papers to debate my white papers. What they do is they go through in a hangout, maybe 2 sentences, and then they throw it away. They don't actually go through every point in the document, not even close. So unfortunately, we do have strong evidence, scientific evidence from someone that has the real credentials, the real deal, coming forward and trying to help assess what's happening. They're, again, a theoretical particle physicist, so that's their point of view. Well, they're not an astronomer. They're not, you know, and so even if it was me and I'm a garbage collector, okay, that's great. Chris, the garbage collector, he's doing his own investigation. It's not fear-mongering in any way, because if it was, it would have been what I used to do, just kind of talking out of my mouth and just saying whatever with no data presented. It is extremely difficult to refute these white papers when you only consider 1% of the entire body of the material. So I want to make it very clear to everybody that unfortunately a lot of opposition or trolling is happening in regards to those white papers, and directly to the physicists and to me personally, but the work continues because it's for entertainment purposes, baby. It's not, I mean, you shouldn't be living your life according to what the material we're putting out. However, you might want to reconsider the fact that maybe NASA's lying to us. There's a brown dwarf star here, and that's what is that's the explanation for the massive effects that are taking place on the Earth. And I'm almost done. Again, sinkholes, mass animal dust, magnetosphere, jet stream, blah, 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 blah. I mean, the Earth's core heating up. So what explains all of those things? Climate change and global warming, right? Well, we already know that that's not true. That's BS. The whole Al Gore global warming. I mean, anyway, so yes, I have put out about 70 white papers dedicated to the brown dwarf, about 82 that are overall physicist presentations, and I enjoy putting them out. If folks have a problem with them, well, they can just disregard it because it's just a theory. That's it. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on. That's kind of the gist of things, and I'll go ahead and turn the time back over to you.
Yeah, so Steve, I mean, I know that you you analyze these white papers also. You've been into this for quite a long time yourself. You know, you want to give your thoughts on the subject?
No, the thing that Chris and I have never been on the air together talking about the physicist, but she let 2 people in our community fully vet her, me and Chris. I know everything about her background. She satisfied all the credentials necessary to report.
Totally.
Everything Chris Potter just said. And I would testify on any court stand that she's a valid physicist, a teacher, a PhD. And without her knowledge, I don't know if I would, I don't know if I'd know what I was talking about at all if it wasn't for her.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be the first to admit that, you know, when I first came across Chris last summer, and also you, Steve, you know, and I've been delving into this now. This is my 13th year trying to find out more information, and it was only back in like June and July when I decided to start taking a look at YouTube, and, you know, bingo, all of a sudden, you know, I started finding out a lot of credible information and also learning a lot. And, you know, this lady is a godsend to all of us, because whenever these white papers are presented, they are answering a lot of questions that I've lost sleep over. And I mean, can you just go out and hire yourself a person with this type of background? Probably not. You know, I mean, that's pretty slim to none that you're going to just go out there and find yourself, you know, a theoretical physicist and say, hey, you know, can you help me out with this? Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, she approached us. She approached Steve and I in an anonymous format, right? And we've just kind of been going from there and putting out the material. And the concerning thing is the reaction to the material, because again, if it's just for entertainment and they're just theories, what's the problem, right? Like, what's the problem?
Not only that, why can't people talk about the science in there? You know, and this is common in both of our channels. Whenever I put up a white paper or have a mention about the white paper,
Sure.
I just get, she's not a real physicist. I don't get, hey, Steve, I don't think it's a brown dwarf because gravity might be the fact. You know, and there's no argument about physics or anything. It's always something about character assassination or assassinating my character or your character. You know what I mean? It, really, if we could just focus on the discussion about the science itself in those white papers, I think people would learn a lot.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think that the material is completely disregarded. Completely. It's really not debated in a proper format in any way, shape, or form. I think a lot of the opposition is hate and anger because, oh, we're ruining people's lives because we believe in Planet X. Okay, that's our right to, we can think that way, we can feel that way, we can believe a system's coming in. But if you live your life according to what we're saying, that's not our fault. And that's not fear mongering. We really are trying to investigate. I'm sorry, each one of us are not real investigators. We're just trying to do this because something's not right. And that's it. Anyway, I wanted to throw that in there too. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, let me add something also. You know, I mean, each and every one of us has cast ourselves into this limelight. I hate to use the word limelight, but just as a figure of speech, you know, we are trying to find out what in the hell is going on. We want answers. We want answers. So, you know, I have to agree with Chris. I have to agree with Steve that what is the harm in trying to find the answers? And we all have a lot of subscribers that are like family, so we owe it to them. We owe it to all of these people to continue. And I know each and every one of us we're going to continue no matter what. Now, I don't want to get into the whole trolling operation that's conducted against each and every one of us on a daily basis, but that just goes to show you how much the powers that be want to shut us up. So everyone that is listening to us now, just think about that. Why would you want to shut some guys up that are on YouTube talking about, you know, a planet, some biblical prophecy, putting out some scientific information? Why would you want to shut us up?
Hey, did you see that video on cyberbullying I did yesterday, Scott?
Yeah.
And did you hear the vile? I mean, again, you know, not to mention anybody's name or anything like that, but it was, did you hear like all the vile? That's the kind of stuff that we as researchers every single day, we are abused like that.
Oh, yeah.
You guys,
you're right, Todd. It's a balance. It's a balance between, you know, what's best interest for the people that trust me and want to hear from me and us, this group, and the desire to, you know, just not want to be abused anymore. Is that a battle you guys face every day? Like the cyberbullying, does it get to you?
Oh, look, man, I get death threats. I mean, you know, the trolling in the comment section of my YouTube channel is, you know, it's pretty horrible. I mean, I pretty much have it under control. The people that subscribe to my channel, they handle it themselves. They get out there and they let these people have it. Now, listen, everyone has a right to their opinion, but when you jump into these comment sections and you're calling people filthy, nasty names, and you're telling everyone, Scott's a liar, Scott's a fake, Scott's a fraud, this and that. Well, look, I'm going to be straight up. You don't know your ass from a hole in the ground.
They're just trying to throw spaghetti up on every one of us until some of it sticks, Scott. And that's the oldest tactic in the book. Just keep lying until they believe the lie. If you lie enough, they'll believe the lie. And I know all the men on this channel right now. I've been working with Nigel. You were like, when I first started my channel, you're like one of my first 300 subscribers.
Yeah, I was, Steve. Definitely.
And Chris Potter and I got to know each other when I first got online. I asked Chris for advice. He helped me with my channel when I first started up.
Oh, I did?
Scott, yes, you did. Don't you remember those early conversations where we were talking?
I don't. Things have been a blur, bro, ever since I started this thing.
It's been a long time. It's already starting to go on 2 years ago. Jeff P., they knocked you off the air. We all surrounded you and put you back up on our channels to make sure that you got your subscribers back.
Yeah, thank you
guys.
guys.
Know Nick Thomas?
Yeah.
Nick Thomas.
He gets daily death threats, and he has showed him and shared those on LinkedIn.
Why is it we're not allowed to present what we're allowed to present? Free speech. We're showing something that we're seeing in the sky that's not right in any way, shape, or form. And if you think it should be on camera, some of it might be lens flares. It might well be, but not all of it. At the end of the day, why are we being ridiculed and being hated so much for showing what is in the sky? That's it. I think it's really disgusting at the end of the day why we're being trolled.
It's criminal level cyberbullying, guys. It is criminal, felonious cyberbullying, and I'm asking everybody to stop the cyberbullying that against us, against our channels. I mean, I want to hear somebody's argument about the last white paper that Chris covered. I really do. I want to hear somebody argue with our physicists about. You know what I'm saying, Chris? Though,
bro, they won't do it. That will never happen. It seems like we're at the point now where everyone just wants to fight. These folks are not man or woman enough to calm down, meet at the table, and calmly discuss these things. I offered to do that by saying, hey, the war online stops today. Let's chill, go your own way. I am at fault for cyberbullying too. Yes, I have screwed up. I am willing to say I've made a mistake and repent and move on. I do not want any other further physical threats or harms of violence for anyone, or a threat of harm or violence for anyone. Because this is what I learned. There are far worse and scarier people than any of us on this side or the other side of the opposition that are far more concerning in regards to that type of activity, if you were to go that route, right? Like really bad. I think you guys understand what I'm inferring. So after I got a little bit of prize as to the fact that people are willing to take each other out, I'm like, okay, this has to stop. We got to go to the cops. We got to go to an attorney. We got to go to YouTube. How does this stop? Right. So I guess my point is that I've even been guilty, and I'm willing to shut my mouth, move forward, do my own stuff, and leave these people alone. If they can't debate kindly, which I don't think will ever happen, I'll just go my own way. That's my point. I guess that's kind of been my thinking and feeling on this, as I have rolled this around in my head for days on how to deal with this. Of course I'm angry. I do. I want to lash out. Yeah, I want to go take a vacation. But all that's going to do is cause more problems. We're just trying to really discover and investigate for real. What's happening? What the frick is happening? And we shouldn't get like slammed for it. What's the problem? It's just free speech. We're not like, I'm not fear mongering. I used to, like, repent or you're going to die. No, I don't do that anymore. It's not effective. I think if we just share the information, great. If you want to debate it, kindly debate it. If not, leave us alone. If that can't happen, I guess then we will have to use the other means that are necessary, that are kind and gracious and legal, and we'll just keep it at that.
Well, that's it. At the end of the day, we're not forcing people to watch our channels. They're grown men and women, and we're presenting evidence.
I agree. Okay, some of it's lens flares. Okay, great. But what about the white papers, though? Like, why? You know what I mean? Why is the hate? What's the problem? Is there something in those white papers you don't like?
Or maybe it's that ISS photograph, Chris, that shows a cloud layer beyond the horizon. Or maybe it's the, maybe it's the red orb we see in Alaska on the FAA cameras. I mean, it's like, can't we talk about that?
Good point. Yeah. All right. So let's say, for an example, on the FAA cam, you got that big red dude, okay, for Antarctica. And if you look at it close, it looks like it has detail to it. Yes, I would like to see someone do a white paper on how that's a lens flare with all the detail. You get working on that, folks, right?
Yeah,
Nobody's going to do it.
Background, tell us, how do we get a orb that looks like the surface of a sun?
Sure, I agree. How does that, please? Because then, great. Then that's one more tool in our belt, so we can stop passing disinformation. Because if it's all friggin' lens flares, great. All the lens flares look like planets. Okay, at least we know now, right? Because Chris, of the CMOS in the camera or whatever. But at least if we know, then okay, great. But I don't think anyone's really tried to dissect that. Like the camera, the light, the technology behind it, right? Like, how would that appear? Give us some good meat here, And there's none.
Well, like, for instance, the other night, Chris, whenever we were talking and, you showed me a portion of a video that you had just produced.
Yeah.
And we were discussing about the large white orb that was off in the distance from the sun to the, about the 10 o'clock position.
Yeah, it was really weird.
10 o'clock position. We were discussing, okay, well, that might be a lens flare. And I said to you, okay, let me take a screenshot of that and let me zoom into it. Let me take a look at it through some different filters. And then what in the hell did we discover?
It looks like a planetary body. It looks like it has
a surface,
edges to it. So, okay, if it's a lens flare, is it a pixelation from the camera as well as the view that you see? And is it light? You know what I mean? Like, there's a couple of different ways that would make the lens flare look like a real object. Yep. I am interested in how, because I know that some of these lens flares really are tricky friggin' lens flares. Like, okay, here's an example. Blue Star 712. I put out their videos, and they've got new cameras now. Their old cameras would do these cool little cute lens flares. You can still see them at night too. So that has something to do with the camera, right? And so I even thought about, okay, do I need to make a whole friggin', okay, these cameras make these kind of lens flares, like a full-on chart. You know what I mean? Like a how-to for every camera on the planet and what kind of lens flares they make. I mean, seriously, how does this stuff appear like they are physical objects? So I'm glad that you did do the zoom. I put it in my last video. It looks weird. It doesn't look like a lens flare. It's just kind of hanging out next to the sun. And he doesn't move.
Exactly. Now, getting into all of this information now, Jeff P's done extensive research on all of this. So, Jeff, I'm going to give you the floor right now, buddy, because out of all of us, I mean, you've really nailed this damn thing down as far as, sun simulators, the lenses, and these halos. So go ahead, buddy. You have the floor.
Okay. Yeah, let me share the screen here.
Whoop, whoop.
Okay, so I want to open up with something that's insane here, and here we go. Okay, you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So today at 1 o'clock, And people keep asking me, why is there a fake sun or a sun simulator? It's because of this.
Whoa, my Lord,
Okay.
have mercy.
That was today. I've been in this area for 5 years, and this is the second time I've seen this. And this was at 1 o'clock. The reason why we have a fake sun is to keep the light shining in the sky while it's being eclipsed by a planet. As crazy as it sounds, it's the only explanation. I called, okay, and I suspected this was a very big shadow being cast on the Earth. So I called my friend Scott. And he was like, wait a minute, let me check this out. So he goes outside and goes, whoa, I'm seeing the same thing. Yeah, little cooperation.
Yeah, I was literally outside in my boxers, man. I mean, we were on cell phone and pretty wild, man.
So this here is the fake sun. And when you have clouds pass in front of it, Nigel did a good breakdown about this black spot, but this thing is in a low orbit. And what we're seeing at this point in time is the fake sun. And I've seen a reduction in heat and light during this event. And it's happening over a very large area. And I'd like to get the
real quick question. This is Steve. So when you look, and we all see these halos, definitely not at the 22 degrees they say they're supposed to be. So when we see this big red halo, then you're saying that's when they have to turn on the artificial sun because the sun is being eclipsed or something, right?
Right. And this here is a FLR image of it afterwards. And we can see this is infrared heat, and we can see the rotating lens system in there. You obviously couldn't be a sunspot. I think the whole thing is actually rotating. I proved that in other videos. But this is the black spot that we see. Let's see if I can... I got this video. Okay, so here is this black spot that we see on the lens. Not like to see a debunking, but they've said this is a camera overload. Nigel blew this out of the water too because this thing is... Now, when I pause this, you're going to see the reflection on the water right here.
Of the black thing. Of that black thing.
Wow. Okay, and it rotates. Okay, so it's not something on the lens.
Ah. It's a rotating black lens flare, bro. Yeah.
And to top that off, we've got another image here, the rotating Fresnel lens, and we see it here, right here. And people saying, why is it rotating? Okay, and it appears to be like a hologram because it's projection from the lens system, which I showed earlier in one of my videos, how lenses can hide objects. And so we get the space lenses are still seen to this day. Best seen in time lapses is over Australia. Let me and we can see this oscillating right here. You see this? That's the same object as it rotates with time. And then separate from the lens systems that we see in space. Now, I don't believe these are the conventional lenses. I believe that Caltech and GPL have been working on an ultra-thin lenses that are only millimeters thick. And we can see the small lenses up here and the larger lenses down here as the sun passes in front of it. But I also believe that the sun simulator is a configuration of LEDs with white and red with a lens also in front of it. And that was Nigel had done a video that I watched today that he was showing. I've seen this before in observations, but when this clouds pass in front of the fake sun, it suddenly shrinks to a much smaller size. It's because of the lens in front of the light source makes it look bigger, just like we can have like flashlights. So maybe try and get a demonstration of that. But if you've ever had those flashlights that you could change it has a lens that you could change the size of the light in front of it. Let's see if I had.
That's some damning information, man. I mean, that's a damning video. I remember when you.
That's what I'm saying, man. At first, I thought these were planets, and then I'm looking at it and like, wow, that's some crazy stuff.
Yeah, You know, and I just want to add something, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone listening to us. You know, whenever Jeff, you know, discovers this type of information, the first thing that comes out of the opposition's mouth is, well, you know, that's dirt on the lens housing of this camera. It's this, it's that. Well, you know, ladies and gentlemen, we have so many photographs, so much evidence. You know, I mean, I have over 500 videos out there. Steve, I know you're well over 500 videos. Chris, you've got tons of videos. Same thing with Jeff P. We have so much information out there showing these objects, showing these lenses. I mean, well, you know, whenever we did the hangout last week with me and Steve and Dave Dobbs and everybody, I mean, I showed that photograph of the lady that was driving down the I-5 in San Diego that pulled over and saw that rainbow lens all by itself in the freaking sky. So there was no lens housing. There was no dirt on the lens. The lady pulled over on the highway because she literally saw it with her own eyes and snapped, to me, one of the most damning photographs that I've ever seen of one of these lenses. And you know, here's the philosophy. There is obviously something very seriously wrong with our sun. We all analyze it every single day. I mean, I know that I'm on it at least twice a day, you know, on the SDO, and I'm looking at every single view. And there is something seriously wrong. And then whenever we start to get into or go back to the white papers from the physicist, now we have somebody that is putting all of this into perspective for us. So she's literally answering the questions that we have. And it's incredible. And everyone has done their share of the work. And we've all put it together. You know, so people ridicule us. They damn us to hell. They spread rumors. They just try to put all of this information down. And I'm going to reiterate this once again, everyone. Why would a group of people concentrate all of their efforts to make us look like we're fools and we're lying? Why would all of us put all of our time and our energy, and I'm going to have to say this, our own personal security, into trying to reveal all of this information to the world? And we are getting censored. We are getting censored.
But, you know, the thing that I've been concerned about recently, Scott, is that the escalation in the cyberbullying against our community has just been, you know, it's really been wilting. And it's
getting hot and heavy.
Yeah, it's to the point where it's like it's affecting my emotional health.
I think it's affecting everybody's emotional health. At the end of the day, like I said before, we're showing what's in the sky, and we're being bullied. And we're not only us that's being bullied, it's our subscribers being bullied. And I think that's totally wrong, because some of those subscribers that actually view our channels are children. You know, why do they need to read bad language and all the other different bits and pieces? I think it's totally wrong. Disgusting, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and we're not the only ones that are on YouTube that are getting kicked in the balls.
Oh, look what happened to Matt Rogers.
Well, yeah, but, you know, I'm talking something that's completely off subject of Planet X research. Like, for instance, Dutch Sins. Dutch does some fantastic work on all of his earthquake information and forecasting. And Dutch is being censored by YouTube. And just recently, he has moderators that he trusted.
Yeah, but he's also being trolled by the same people as well.
But yeah, just recently,
there's no understanding.
Yeah, he found out that some of the people that he trusted as his moderators were the ones stabbing him in the back and trying to take him down. Now, why would you want to take a man down that is simply forecasting earthquakes putting out some of the best information on YouTube, because I watch him every day. I do not
accurate,
miss.
I might add, Scott, highly accurate forecasting.
Oh, yes, man. Yes. Very, very accurate.
Yeah.
You know, and I discovered some information. We all know the gentleman that does the suspicious observers, Ben.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, man. One of our arch nemesis rivals actually a few years ago made a fake YouTube channel copying Ben's channel, but made one very bad mistake. And this individual, who we all know, I'm not even going to say his putrid, stinking name, but, you know, he was found out because, you know, Ben was, you know, doing his thing, presenting his information on the sun, and they didn't like it. So they perpetrated this huge fraud against him and his YouTube channel, literally copying the entire channel, artwork, avatar, the whole 9 yards. But they made one big mistake, you know, and it was taken care of. But again, you know, ladies and gentlemen, why would people go to these extents to try to do this? These are very well-planned operations that they're being conducted. You know, the smear campaigns against each and every one of us. I mean, over the last week, I've been labeled a child molester, a child abuser, and, you know, a career criminal. No, I'm not a career criminal. Yeah, I've been arrested a few times. I've defended myself in some situations. The majority of the things were dismissed. Oh, yeah, I got a DUI. Oh, wow. 75% of the people walking around in the United States have a DUI because it's big business. It's big business for the county, for the townships, for the cities. Big deal. Does that make me a child molester? No. They're smear campaigns. And they're ridiculous.
Yeah, it's the old, you know, beginning again, you know, I don't want to get too negative on it because at the same time, I think sticking with the idea of think about why they're doing it, you guys. You know, we
Exactly.
don't, you know, we don't, you will never see any of us just going after and attacking somebody for day after day after day after day after day, including
It's their job.
people of felony.
What else would you do it?
You know what I mean? It's like we don't, this group doesn't do that.
I mean, I defend myself. I'm no angel, man. You know, like I said in my last video I just uploaded today, I was born and raised on the, you know, the city streets of, you know, Pittsburgh, man. I mean, we're tough people. I'm no pushover. My mother raised me to be a tough kid. I went to Catholic school, but I did live in a rough neighborhood, and you know, I mean, we fought every day, man. I mean, it was just a fact of life. So when people were taking very nasty pot shots at me, and you know, they're coming after my family, they're putting my 90-year-old grandmother's house in their YouTube videos and putting the coordinates where anybody can click on them with Google Maps and go directly to her house, thinking it's mine. You know, and I just had to explain this situation to an individual today. You know, you know, when my grandfather passed away, I became power of attorney for my grandmother. The house was placed in my name. I take care of all of her bills. But this is my flesh and blood, man. This is my flesh and blood. So you idiots are going to put my grandmother's coordinates to a house in a video for some crackpot to think that that's where I live. And maybe some nutcase goes to my grandmother's house and startles her. She has a heart condition. She's riddled with arthritis. She doesn't deserve that to happen to her. So you wonder why I get irate. And I get mad because you're attacking my family. You're attacking a little 90-year-old woman who's done nothing to society but give every bit of her life working hard.
And Scott, they're not going to ever care about us personally. They're never going to care about our families. They're never going to care about anything, and for us to even expect that they're out for nothing but a hunk of flesh out of us. And guys, it's cyberbullying. We're victims, man, victims of cyberbullying. And I can even
there's no doubt about it, man. And I'm gonna be very critical right here, off subject, but YouTube does a piss poor job at this type of thing. Over the past several days, I have literally put up, 23 or 25 privacy strikes because these idiots are circulating a background check from a not so reputable, been verified website where they got a background report using a common name. They don't even have my social security number and my date of birth to do a proper background check. So they're circulating this through Google Drive, through YouTube, and trying to discredit me and say, hey, look, Scott's a career criminal. No, Scott's not a career criminal. Scott's had some brushes with idiots that, want to step over the line.
It's simple. It's a smear campaign. Anybody that's alive to be as old as we are, and I won't, violate your trust by saying your age, but you're old. You're freaking old. And the point I'm trying to make is, if you've gone through this much life in the United States, you once in a while are going to run in with the law. You're going to, especially if you're a stick to your principles kind of guy. You don't put up with crap like you, Scott, right? So
yeah, absolutely. Look, dude.
Anybody, you could dig into anybody and find stuff like that. But here's the thing. The issue is not, is Scott Cione this or that or the other thing. What they're trying to do is they're trying to discredit you so that people don't look at your research.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Just take a look, man, before you judge.
Yeah, my subscribers don't fall for it. I've had some pretty reputable channels over the last couple of days email me because they've been victims of these thugs also. The very, very specific, it's the same group. And ladies and gentlemen, you have to realize, if it is the same group with a very well documented history of doing this to not only Planet X channels, but to UFO channels like Secure Team 10. They tried to take Tyler Glockner down to the ground, where it ended up in a court case. Okay, I have all the information, and we're going to take a look at all of it real soon here. Because
did Tyler actually take somebody to the mat?
Oh, yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, and so did a few others. Now, they understand that these types of things, all of us don't have tens of thousands of dollars to put forth to hire an attorney, go in for slander and cease and assist orders and all this other crap. But some of these people that they messed with, they did have the money. They did have the cash. But here's the bottom line, who cares if somebody's on YouTube talking about UFOs? Who cares if somebody is on YouTube talking about their recipe, how to make cherry pie? Everybody is a victim of this, and it is ridiculous. And they are trying to suppress evidence. That's the bottom line.
Hey,
They're
do you guys know what a honeypot is?
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, our chat room's a honeypot right now. So people keep on chatting, because every one of you's getting reported.
You get them, Chris. You get them, man.
You'll find it's
no, I'm not kidding. We have a full campaign of screenshotting and downloading right now.
That's beautiful.
I went to talk to an attorney today for a $3,000 retainer that I have to keep topped up to sue 19 people.
Yeah.
On social media. And that's no fucking bullshit. And that's the only swearing I'm going to say today. Yes, I've sequestered an attorney.
Yeah, I went and saw my attorney yesterday. We went over a whole bunch of things, and Yeah, he was cool about it because we've discussed my situation and what I'm doing. And I've enlightened him. I've opened up his eyes. And, you know, he's preparing his family for whatever comes. And, you know, once again, ladies and gentlemen, everyone who's listening, you can simply take a look at what's happening. The earthquake situation, the climate change, the volcanoes, now these wildfires, and the worldwide flooding that is going on is just absolutely, it's horrible. And we knew, all of us as investigators, we knew these things were going to happen. I talked about them in very much detail, what was going to occur. You know, and each of us we've all taken our own little steps in you know, our investigations, and we all have our own little niche into what we're looking at. But one of the biggest fears was when we all start to come together. So when we start to come together, this is when things are going to get, you know, really bad for them, because they don't want us to collaborate. They do not want us to do what we're doing right now. And like I said before, you know, I nicknamed it, hey, this is the alliance. You know, whatever. But, you know, this is a group of men that are out there, put themselves out there, and we are trying to find out the truth. We may never find the truth, but I'll tell you what, we are all giving it our best shot. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I'm lucky if I get 4 hours of sleep a day, and I will not quit. And I know any of the men that are in this interview tonight, they're not going to quit.
Like it's not like I didn't want to.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know,
all we're doing is just getting the truth out there, and that's it. You know, if you can't see what's in the skies, last 6 months it's been absolutely disgusting what's happening. You know, the earthquakes, the volcanoes, the fires, everything else.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where you can't even keep track of it. You know,
well, that's I mean, it's taking all of us just to kind of cover the thing from corner to corner, first layer, right? Like the first layer of the onion. And we're talking about artificial lighting systems, as you think about it. We've proven it as a group. I mean, if we had to stand in front of a Senate subcommittee and testify, we have enough proof to show them that this is up there, even though they already know it's there. Okay?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Two, we've got plenty of magnetic data and other types of data from various instruments across the board that have been consolidated and disseminated by a physicist who tells us that there's a good chance that we have a very highly magnetic brown dwarf, which you would not be able to see with your eyes, near our solar system. We've got weird plasmic activity and weather. We've got earthquakes. We've got the highest number of volcanoes of all time. I mean, we are like frogs sitting in a damn pan. You know that, guys?
Yeah, man, that is true. That is true. You know, I mean, there's
the point where we start to look at it so much, like every day for a year and a half, we're looking at this, right, Scott?
Oh,
and
yeah.
After a while, we can start to take some of this for granted. Just some of the simplest, most basic pictures we've seen that are great proof. Some of the people have never seen.
Yeah, there's you know, I mean, I'll be truthful. There's a lot of information that I have come across over the last several months that I have not released. You know, I've not really talked about that much because I don't want to create the panic. And this is exactly what the governments are trying to do. They're trying not to create this huge panic, but people's eyes are opening up with, you know, the Jade Helm and the UX-16 and the Cascadia, all these military exercises, the FEMA camps, the whole freaking stories about the Walmarts, you know. I mean, that one guy, Dave Hodges, I mean, he talks a good game about all of this, man, and he's got a lot of substantial evidence towards this. And I mean, we're seeing it. They keep letting us think that there's going to be a world war, Russia this, world war. Well, I don't think that's going to happen. If something like that does occur, it's going to be a psychological operation to hide what is actually going to happen. I mean, that's my theory, that's my thoughts, but you know, there's a lot of evidence out there that points right to it. You can't even trust anything that's on the news.
Well,
I mean,
no, and it's gotten to the point where it's gotten to almost like a madness almost.
Yes.
Because you'll hear people like mainstream people just walking in the street, people that don't know anything about Nibiru or any of this stuff, right? And everybody has this deep sense of foreboding. What do you guys think that is?
You know, I think it's just a sign of the times, man. I think that technology's gotten so deep into people's heads that they don't realize what's going on up above them. You know, whenever I break down into conversations and I tell people about this, they look at me with this completely dumbfounded look on their face. People that are very educated, of sound mind, and they're like, what the hell are you talking about? Because everybody's too busy looking down when they should be looking up. You know, keep your eye in the sky, man, because you never know what you're gonna catch something there. I mean, today, whenever me and Jeff were on the phone and we're trying to capture this eclipse, and I set my camera up and I left it outside for 26 minutes. Walked back into the house. When I went to check the footage and cast it onto my flat screen, during the 20-minute mark, a small illuminated planet just appeared in the clear sky. And then it stayed there. And it was rotating and oscillating. And then it kind of faded away. And then a few seconds later, it faded right back in. And I was literally standing on top of my television with my eyeball on the screen, saying to myself, WTF? What the hell? Where did that come from? You know, and I'm going to share all this footage with you guys, and I want you all to analyze it and take a look at it, because it really freaked me out. You know, there's a lot of things going on that we can't explain, but we're trying. We're trying our best. You know, and I know each and every one of you, you know, I mean, Jeff and Steve, Chris, Nige, I mean, all of us have done our part. There are many others out there that aren't included in this hangout with us that are doing their part. They should be here, you know, and maybe one day soon we'll get more people involved with us to start sharing this information, you know, possibly on a weekly basis, because I know this much. I got 50,000 people on my channel that want this information, and they're not going to be denied it. Even though I know a lot of my European customers, a lot of my European subscribers are being censored. They tell me.
Oh yeah, right. Remember when you showed me in the screen thing that one day, Scott, where you showed me how they had us blocked out all those sites everywhere?
Yep.
And you showed me that. I was like, can we even change that? You said, no, YouTube puts that in there.
Yep. Those are the filters, the country codes that allow your content. You know, I got a message from YouTube after one of my videos had been up for, oh my God, like 3 months. The next thing you know, I get this message from YouTube that my video has now been blocked in Europe. Just that one video. No explanation. It's just been blocked. Why?
It happens all the time. You know what I mean? Oh.
Pretty weird. Pretty weird. Jeffrey, you're kind of quiet in there, buddy. You still with us? Jeff. I think Jeff went to
sleep.
eat. So what do you think, Nige? I know things are pretty crazy over there, I think things are pretty crazy over there in the UK. Listen, what's your weather been like? Is your weather's been pretty crazy over there in the UK this year?
It's absolutely been amazing. There's no words for it. Yeah, it's rain, it's sunshine, it's hot, it's cold, and it's definitely not winter like it should be. You know, everything is really, really wrong. Anybody can see it. You know, you don't need to have a degree in anything. You just need to look. I work outside, and I have done for the last 18 years, and everything has changed in the last 6 months in a bad way, not in a good way. The sun doesn't even look like the sun anymore. I remember the sun when it used to look orange. Now it looks like a big LED torch in the sky.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I took
you know,
a
if you're
photograph.
driving, sorry, at the end of the day, if you're driving and you know what I'm talking about because you've got to put that sun visor down, it blinds you. You know, you can't even see the road because it's that bad.
Yeah, it looks like you're in a studio. The light, like it looks. Yeah, it just looks
like a big flashlight, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, even though I've been poking around in this for a long time and looking at the sun, yesterday I took a photograph in a crystal clear sky, and man, you know, every time I take a picture, it's something new. It looked, the rays of the sun were the colors of the rainbow. I mean,
you know, I get so many pictures, Scott, where I want to do an in-depth breakdown, but I just don't have time.
Yeah, there's so much out there.
Hey, Chris,
and
you did a really
look
good
at the sky, it's not blue anymore, is it?
No, it's a white hazy cloud.
Yeah, like silver or on the horizon.
That's why I think the chemtrails really acts as a diffuser to keep us from seeing the simulator, kind of like the way that you have the frost inside a fluorescent bulb from seeing the filament in the bulb.
Exactly.
Yeah, it makes it look like a one-way mirror at the end of the day. That's what we're looking at.
But it does make some mistakes, and it does reveal itself.
Yeah.
And it's been captured. You know, I mean,
there are no laws, by the way, on fear-mongering, but there sure are laws on cyberbullying. We're just going to make this real clear, because I know I am at fault too. And no, I won't swear anymore. I've got a few people saying some nice chumpy things in the chat. Especially, you know who's a friggin' a maid. A maid. A maid! Okay, anyway. This is what it says. HR 1966. Woo! 11th Congress first session. Let me read this to you quickly. This was in 2009. I can't figure out the screen sharing because I've got something funky going on with my computer, of course. This act may be cited as the Megan Myers Cyberbullying Prevention Act. Congress finds the following. 4 out of 5 of United States children aged 2 to 7 live in a home where either they or their parents access the internet. Youth who create internet content and use social networking sites are more likely to be targets of cyberbullying. Electronic communications provide anonymity to the perpetrator and the potential for widespread public distribution, potentially making them severely dangerous and cruel to youth. This is going to take me about 5 more minutes. I'll be done. Sorry to bore everyone with the details, but I think this is really important because we are at the point where I have spoken with an attorney for real. I have to keep a friggin' $3,000 retainer topped up every month. That's a lot of money for me. Okay, so anyway, electronic communications. Okay, online victimizations are associated with emotional distress and other psychological problems, including depression. Cyberbullying can cause psychological harm, including depression, negativity, and negatively impacting academic performance, safety, and the well-being of children in school, force children to change schools, and in some cases lead to extreme violent behavior, including murder and suicide. 60% of mental health professionals who responded to the survey and internet mental health issues report having treated or at least one patient with a problematic internet experience in the past 5 years. So this is what was ruled. Cyberbullying, whosoever transmits in interstate or foreign New Zealand commerce any communication with the intent to coerce, intimidate, harass, or cause substantial emotional distress to a person using electronic means to support severe, repeated, and hostile behavior shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 2 years or both, as used in this section. The term communication means electronic transmission between or among points specified by the user of information that the user is choosing without change in the form of content of the information or sent and received. I'm almost done. The term electronic means any equipment dependent on electrical power to access an information service, including email, instant messaging, blogs, websites, telephones, and text messages. So I had to supply my attorney with every one of my crappy videos. Can the opposition do that? No, they can't, because I'm willing to stand by and suffer the consequences for what I've said online. And I was willing to shut my mouth a few days ago. And I said, look, the war stops today. I'm done. My only recourse was legal. Well, that should have said everything to everybody what I'm doing. Yes, I'm sorry I swore again in this hangout. So this is what we'll do. For 30 days, Chris ain't going to say one swear word on social media. If you catch me, I'll give you $100. From this day forward, I'm not kidding. Today is...
No, Chris, don't do it,
no,
Chris.
I'm not kidding. March 9th, 2016 at 6:30. So in 30 days, I get to swear again on social media.
You know, I know
that includes written,
but 90% of the reason I let Chris is because he goes off.
I'm sorry, I go off. But no, for real, you guys, I'm willing, seriously, I won't swear for 30 days on YouTube in any way, shape, or form, in a video or in written. And that means like real swearing, you know what I mean? Like, I think I can say friggin'. I think damn is still a bad word. No, I'm seriously, I want to see what happens because of this. I really want to, I want to do something about the problem. So I will shut my mouth in regards to swearing for 30 days. I don't know how else to help. I know I've been part of the problem. I admit it. But I am at the point where I have had to consult an attorney, and I really should shut up from there. Thanks for letting me talk.
Yeah, I mean, my my attorney gave me the same exact advice, was to, not fuel the fire, let him do what he has to do, and that's it. So, we all have to maintain our own composure. Immediately whenever I announced that, we were going to have this hangout with us, I started getting some phone calls, some text messages, some emails, and, people on that other side wanted to know what was up. They automatically think that, we were going to come on here and slander them, like they do to us. And we've all been victims of it. And, it really doesn't bother me. But, when you're calling me a child molester and all this other crap, I mean, that's just pretty off the wall. But, again, none of the subscribers believe it. They're all very sound-minded individuals.
Scott, that person's not you. Period.
Yeah, I know, right?
Period. The end. It's a different guy.
At the end of the day, they haven't even got a picture with your face to show that it is you.
Sorry.
Well, they did pull one mug shot from 2014 when I knocked my neighbor, when I knocked my neighbor out. But the guy threw a whole garbage can full of garbage over the fence. All I did was ask him, hey man, I'm trying to sleep. Do you think you could, stop your dog from barking? And, this guy, him and his wife would just sit on the porch all day and all night and drink beer while they paid no attention to their little kids. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, they're out there drinking beer, and I just went out and I said, "Hey, Chuck, can you please, take your dog in the house, kind of be quiet a little bit?" And, he told me to go F myself, and he picked up his garbage can and he dumped it over the fence into my yard. And I'm like, we had some words. I turned around, went back into the house, and about 2 seconds later, he's banging on my back door. I opened up the door and he put his fist through the screen door. And he almost connected to the tip of my nose. Well, I stepped outside. He was pretty drunk, so I leveled him. He went and called the police, and they arrested me. It was simple assault, told the cops what happened. But, you have to go through the ringer, and I'm going to protect my property, and I'm going to protect myself. And if somebody doesn't like that, well, I can't help it. I'm not a pusher.
You are allowed to protect what you do.
Hey, not to interrupt you guys either, but some of us were raised in the hood. Some of us weren't. And that's
in the hood,
so,
man.
If we can attempt in some way to do better from here, great. I am tired of the trolling and the hate and the hurt, as well as you guys are. I'm just leaving the opposition alone. They need to go their own way. I don't have time for them. And I just want to keep the work that we're doing and just keep it chill. And if that can't happen, again, the legal recourse. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let me just mention something here real quick. Remember back in the summer, Chris, when both of us at the same time, we discovered the actual official troll handbook. It's out there on a PDF file.
Yeah, the Edward Snowden GHCQ docs.
Yeah, man. I mean, that was a pretty
involved. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a big leak. Now, in that handbook, they have like 5 different campaigns that they run. And this all started with 9/11, when people started analyzing what happened in New York City on that day. All kinds of videos were coming out. They were going up on websites. They were being talked about in chat rooms, all over the place. This was well before Facebook, but people were circulating information. And then those 3 college students from the University of, I think, Boston, Massachusetts, put together one hell of a damning video, and their lives were threatened. They were kicked out of college for putting this information, and that's when the trolling campaign started. That is when it all began, and it hasn't stopped. And now it's literally a profession. Basically like telemarketing rooms in Canada, the United States, New Zealand, Australia,
Russia,
and the UK. There are 5 main. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's hard to believe, but it is true. They have multiple YouTube accounts, and they actually have conversations in your chat room with themselves, because they're acting as 3 people.
Right. So you can see it like this guy official Dang or Sarah or one of the people that are like commenting in the comment section.
Uh-huh.
They attack every single one of us with whatever that message is that to carry out on you. So Chris's message, you're supposed to be crazy. I'm supposed to be the adulterer, robber. Scott is supposed to be supposed to have outstanding warrants. Okay, it's like, come on, really? Can't you guys see that these are the same people doing and saying this stuff? It's so ridiculous.
I think it's funny too that folks say get a job when some of us already have a full-time job, and we know that the opposition have jobs like maids.
Yeah, and we're sitting in our basement, living at our mom's house, eating peanut butter sandwiches.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just got accused of living in my grandmother's basement. You know,
She never wants you living in her house.
I tell you the truth, you know, I mean, I wouldn't mind being back living with my grandmother, man. She was one hell of a cook. I mean, she taught me everything that I know. And, you know, once again, if anybody ever steps foot on her property, that will be the last thing that you ever do. That will be the last thing you ever do. So
but
there's
no
no
the point is, it's like they get these little assignment slips, so it almost seems like it's like, okay, here's what you always say about Steve Olson, here's what you always say about
exactly
always say about Chris. And it's so funny because they all line up on the same key messages.
Yep. Hey, you guys want to you guys want to see something that was passed on to me today by you know, kind of one of the bigger names in you know, Planet X research, and I'm not even going to mention his name, but we've had several deep conversations, and he's enlightened.
Yeah, don't show anything. Sorry, Scott, to interrupt you. Don't show anything, but yeah, definitely speak to it.
Oh, I'm going to show it. I'm going to show it because it's
all right. You're good.
I'm going to show this.
Don't worry, Chris. If it's a cheese sandwich, just stay calm.
Okay,
yeah, flying cheese sandwich. We're going to start selling those shirts. But yeah, you know, I
haven't printed a T-shirt, even if you're going to sell it for cost, Chris. I know you guys all give me a hard time, but for my T-shirt campaign. But you know, really, that T-shirt needs to get printed, Chris Potter.
I got a buddy in the T-shirt business. You know, I mean, you know, I mean, there's a lot of things.
The other T-shirt I want to have is Scott, you murdering murderer from Murderville.
Yeah.
All right.
I was so mad that night. So yeah, I've done my share of cyberbullying too, guys.
You've got some goodies though, Scott. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So this, you know, this gentleman, you know, he's a publisher, and he's had his go around with. We're going to nickname this guy Nemesis, because that's what he has become. He has become the Nemesis, when in fact he's nothing but a punk. But let me go ahead and let me dig this up right now. Let me get over to my screen share. Starting to develop a southern accent. Oh, just hold on there, boy. Okay. Do I do a southern accent pretty good, boy? But anyways.
It's horrible, but that's okay.
Yeah, I was going to say it sucked.
Just messed.
So anyways, this all started, and we're going to talk about the introduction of Mr. Daza, the cameraman. And this guy's been a pain. This guy's been a pain in the ass for a lot of people. He's tried to take down a lot of people. You know, and he got his introduction, a couple years ago. And I stumbled onto a video, which I would love to show, but it's a video of him in his mother's basement debunking cornflakes for more than 30 minutes, all to only find that the packaging held a ½ an ounce less. So therefore, he put that cereal company on notice. And this was one of the most ridiculous videos that I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Daza the cameraman debunking cereal in New Zealand. But anyways, this article was dated back to 2014. And it goes on to talk about his beginnings in the debunking field and how he went after Tyler Glockner from the YouTube channel Secure Team 10. And I think Tyler's got like 1 million subscribers, you know, and, you know, all the guy does is he talks about UFOs and he does his thing. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not want to watch the videos, nobody is making you. But anyways, it goes into talking about how Daza, the cameraman, you know, went after this YouTube channel with a vengeance and tried to debunk him and try to take him down. Now, the individual that wrote this the individual that wrote this very long article in depth with a lot of investigative background. Here's a heading: Takedown Campaign Triggers. And this goes into talking about how they target the individual and how they attempt to create all kinds of problems for their YouTube channel or their website, or whatever they're doing. And this is how they go after them. And then it goes on and on about these tactics. Well, all of these tactics are pertaining to a gentleman by the name of Mr. Gregg. We won't even mention his first name, but he has a nickname as Daza the Cameraman. But anyways, this goes on and on and on about how he absolutely abused this YouTube channel and did everything under the sun to try to get this channel shut down. And then we have the title, The Two Sides of Daza the Cameraman. Anyone claiming themselves to be a Planet X debunker immediately walks onto the public stage with a significant advantage. Now, I'm not going to read all of this. I'll leave a link to this because I think everybody should take a look at this. But these people are self-proclaimed. They are self-proclaimed. They claim to be this, they claim to be that, but yet they don't have any credentials. And being an amateur astronomer doesn't mean jack shit. Now, if you're a professional physicist who's put your time in, you're educated, and you actually have the diplomas and the certificates, then you're the real deal. But this goes on to show how these people right here, consequently, the credibility threshold for a self-anointed debunker like Mr. Gregg is infinitely lower than for an honest research group like Secure Team 10. So basically, anybody could go to Kinko's or Office Depot or Staples, and they can print themselves up some diplomas, some certificates, and say, I'm this and I'm that and blah, blah, blah. Well, it goes further into talking about this jerk-off right here, this guy's picture. And this guy, Mr. Alfred Webry, I think that's how you pronounce his name, he's the one who brought Mr. Gregg, a.k.a. Daza, the cameraman, into the American field of debunking. So nobody really knows where Daza, the cameraman, came from, although he says he's from New Zealand. Maybe his accent's fake. I messed around with him one day and I said, Dave, you know damn well that you were born and raised in Brooklyn, and you're hiding your Brooklyn accent with that Kiwi accent from New Zealand. But anyways, he goes on to say that he is an amateur astronomer and he belongs to this observatory, and he's credited with this and that and blah, blah, blah. Well, then it gets into a lawsuit with this jerk-off.
Lawsuit.
Yeah, with this jerk-off right here, Stephen Bassett, trying to sue this beautiful woman by the name of Susan Taylor. Who's involved? This jerk-off. Where's his picture at, man? Where's his freaking picture? Let me just scroll all the way down. Ooh.
You talking Dazzle?
There he is. There, look at that egghead.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that egghead. So, they set some people up. This jerk-off here, this jerk-off here, they set people up. They've done it on radio shows. They've invited them. Oh, come on to the radio show. Let's talk about your discovery. And then they hammer them. So they're sneak attacks. But this article is so in depth. This goes into how they've tried to infiltrate your email, how they use multiple email accounts, multiple YouTube accounts, and they literally try to wreak havoc on your YouTube channel to discredit you and to discredit the information. And this is
that's what he did to Tyler.
Yes.
Right.
But it didn't work.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you, but I wanted to make it clear that there's a huge investigation that happened against another huge channel, and they friggin' lost. Go ahead.
Yep. Yes, they did. So, I mean, this article was very well written with some very serious information. None of it is a lie. It is all, I'd have to say it's the gospel, man. You know, and it goes into talking about the whole legal battle with all of these individuals. And yes, of course, Mr. Greg never showed up for the trials and the appeals. He just stayed himself in little Kiwi land, continuing to target other people. So it goes on and on.
He was called to court in America and didn't show up.
Yep. So there's your backbone, ladies and gentlemen. You know, and listen, this guy has hammered everybody about monetizing their YouTube channels. But in fact, he takes donations, asks for donations to continue his research and pay him through PayPal. Wow. So you're going to call my good...
He went to court for harassing Tyler, and he can never speak to him again. And he's the real friggin' deal of what a real troll is. And I'm sorry, I'm butting right in.
Yeah, he's the handler.
But it is extremely concerning that this individual has been sued for what they're doing now.
Yep.
Didn't this guy's IP address from your threatening email show up as a government server?
Yeah, this goes into talking about how they use the Outlook Express or the Outlook feature of Microsoft. All of that information is right here. But this goes into talking about how they set him up for all of this, grabbing information, and he was using fake email accounts, and just doing some, what he's paid to do. And this goes on. This shows all of the information back and forth. And here is the information about suspicious observers right there. They tried to do it to him. This was the fake account. They were using for YouTube. Suspicious observers. The only problem is Ben uses where the letter 0, the letter O in observers. Ben uses the number 0. Awesome. And this is where they screwed up. And that was taken off, kicked off YouTube. Everything was suspended. And, it goes, here it is right there. It shows you how suspicious observer uses the letter, the number 0. So,
man, that's a total phishing scam there.
Yeah, exactly. So you can see Daza, the cameraman, was behind all of this because Ben was reporting information on the sun. And probably at this time, there were probably some things going on with the sun that they did not want publicized. So Mr. Greg was given the assignment to take this guy down, but he failed.
Scott, can I just interrupt very quickly?
Absolutely.
You need to make your window bigger so that everybody can see it, because it's just a small square box.
I think it's as big as I got it.
No, on the bottom there. You need to share it with everybody, because all we're seeing is a square box, brother.
So I want to make it clear that this individual attacked Security Team 10 with the other dude. They went to court. They lost, and then somebody died suspiciously 2 days later, by the way. And yes, this person that we're referring to is very much involved in all of this, and none of it's BS. When I found out, I freaked out.
I feel like my life's in danger.
Well, this lady ended up dead 2 days later, hung by her pantyhose stocking from the shower curtain rod in a hotel room in Washington, D.C., and she was like an executive member of MUFON.
Yes. So basically, he attacked MUFON when he attacked Tyler.
Yes.
She was going to release a book, and all of a sudden, mysteriously died 2 days later. And I'm going to tell you right now, somebody didn't want her releasing that book. So if he is involved in any way, shape, or form, or even associated to any of that, that should be a red flag for everybody right now.
Absolutely. And you want to see something here?
We're dealing with very dangerous people, aren't we?
Oh, yes, we are. Are you guys able to see this screen?
No, you need to make it bigger, brother.
That's why I got
People in the chat room can't see it.
Yeah, whoever's got it, you got to go to that little sidebar and share your screen. And that little share button, hit that, and it will share your screen for you.
Oh, so nobody saw any of that.
No, but the words were good.
How
about now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Give it a second. There, it's coming, Scott.
Very concerning document.
Yeah, here we go. Go ahead. This is what we got to look at right here, guys. Because I feel like we're dealing with, I had no idea, you guys, that we were dealing with this level of criminality. I had no idea.
Oh, yeah. There's absolutely no doubt. Now you can see that screen?
Yeah, we can see it. Not a problem there, brother.
Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. I thought I had I thought I had it on camera there. But yeah, this whole entire article is very in depth. This goes over all of the information that pertains to this individual. And like I said right here, the two sides of Daza, the cameraman. Now, we don't even know if this is the guy's real name. This is the jerk off right here that introduced him into the U.S. market, as they say. Yeah. And that guy's a charlatan. He's a charlatan himself. This is the guy who was involved in the lawsuit against Susan Taylor. And, she was with MUFON. Very, very nice lady. Investigated UFOs. Okay, big deal.
I guess, what did we expect? We're covering the biggest story in the history of mankind, the biggest cover-up. What did we expect, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about this. He uses a disclaimer. This individual that investigated him found out that he has a U.S. attorney that does all of his dirty work and is also his registered agent. So anytime you file a copyright claim against him, he doesn't handle it. His two-bit attorney, who works out of his scummy apartment, handles it, and wrote his disclaimer that he has in every single one of his YouTube videos. And this was written by this two-bit attorney for him in America, so it was legal. So he can continue to do what he does. And he begs people for money. Send me money through my PayPal so you can, so I can, further my research.
But this whole revelation about the secure team thing and Tyler having to have fought him to that extent, and then here he is back and his team is back doing it again. This is making me sick.
That's a legal issue. We can prove in a court of law he's doing the exact same thing he did to this guy.
Yeah, and right here, using the Microsoft accounts in the Netherlands and going by the name Rick. So he was trying to infiltrate once again by using fake email addresses, fake YouTube channels to infiltrate into these, these YouTube channels and try to make like he's a friend, gain information, and then turn around and slam the hell out of you. He did it to suspicious observers. We just discussed that. Here was the bogus YouTube channel that was set up. You can see it was deleted. It was deleted by YouTube. He copied everything from suspicious observers, but he made one critical mistake that we talked about. And that was, Ben uses the number 0 as the letter O in observer. That's where he screwed up. So that channel was taken down, kicked off of YouTube, but yet it continued. And here is, here's Ben's, his website showing the 0 in his channel name. But it continues on and on and on. And then it talks about this guy, Alfred Webery, I think that's how you pronounce his name. And he's the one who introduced Mr. Greg, aka Daza, the cameraman, self-appointed amateur astronomer on the board of directors or committee for some New Zealand observatory, which, nobody could even contact. They mentioned that information, but they start talking about, at this point in this interview, about solar halos. Once again, we're investigating things that are going on with the sun because we have information in our research and our investigations that are pointing to the sun. And where did this guy come from?
So tell more about the investigation as to what happened as the result.
Well, yeah, once this investigation all went through with secure team, he didn't even show up at there was a trial and there was a appeal on all of this because this guy Bassett, let me scroll back up here, because this jerk off lost. This guy right here, Stephen Bassett, he's a scum. He lost the lawsuit against Susan Taylor, so he appealed. But here's the thing that they talk about. Where did this guy get all this money? This lady, she had trouble paying for the first trial. Then she had trouble paying for the appeal. But in the end, she won. And in the end,
you have to maybe explain a little bit better how those two are involved in the entire investigation as well as with Tyler.
Well, yeah, they started to troll Tyler heavily, Mr. Greg, and going after him about a video that he produced where an astronomer was showing an object behind, I think it was Saturn. And they had discovered this large planetary object. And bam, there it went, man. There was the fire. And this goes back years, a couple years ago. So in a time frame when possibly this brown dwarf and its partners were coming through the solar system, this was actually probably captured by this astronomer. Some say it was a hoax. Some say it wasn't. But the bottom line is, it ended up in a U.S. court of law. A hoax video ending up in a court of law, and then an appeal over a hoax video? Come on, man. Open up your eyes, people. You don't go to those
So
extents.
then what was the result of the investigation? Did certain people not allowed to speak with other people?
Yeah, there were some, the court ordered, leave this guy alone, blah, blah, blah. It goes, this is a pretty in-depth article, The
article has more information. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there's so much here. It would take us probably 2 hours to pick this apart.
All right, we'll definitely share the link, please.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But the bottom line is, this guy over here, this old guy, Alfred Webery, he's the one who gave birth to Daza, the cameraman. Now, where in the hell do you come up with that name? You know what I mean? Somebody told me what the word Daza means, and I forget what it is. I'm going to have to look it up. Somebody Google that. See what the definition of that is. It's something weird. But excuse me, they have baited numerous people, like this jerk off right here, Michael Vara. They have baited people into interviews.
No way. I know Michael.
Only to be hijacked.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah, only to be hijacked.
I know Michael Vara.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Whoa.
Yeah. So they
Sorry,
invite
go
people.
ahead. Oh, I'm going to be talking to him tonight. Go ahead.
Yeah, they invite people from the Planet X community to be on late night in the Midlands, and then they're hijacked by Mr. Daza.
Oh.
So you're going into an interview
maybe I won't talk
with Mr. Vara, or whatever the hell this freak's name is.
I didn't know Michael was doing that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then his partner felt so bad about what went down that he actually wrote a letter to this individual apologizing for what happened. Yeah.
Wow.
Hijacker. Yeah. Here, Mr. Gregg introduces himself as an amateur astronomer with no formal background. He states that he is a member of the Tarama Astronomical Society, of which he is a committee member. Well, listen, I'm on the committee of my Italian club. You know, I mean, I'm self-appointed. So this goes on, talking about lens flares. Man, that's all they got, man. It's all they got. It's all they say. This guy's been using this lens flare crap since like 2013. So he doesn't have anything else in his repertoire other than it's a lens flare. And then it goes to talk about how he deceptively uses Starry Night, the program, in an attempt to misdirect and confuse the viewer with a polar view of the solar system, conveniently ignoring that the system is on a highly tilted elliptical orbit, as Robert Harrington calculated. So it's smoke and mirrors, ladies and gentlemen, plain and simple. Smoke and mirrors. And I will take a little verbiage from another one of our nemesis friends. All he does is spews a bunch of word salad. That's it. So it tells right here how he, goes and he cherry picks the images, and, so he can make a mockery and an attempt to prove his point. So he cherry picks flaws and then makes a big freaking deal out of it. But in actuality, he doesn't prove anything.
I'm just waiting for Dawson to get alerted to our hangout, because they've got all the other shills and trolls that are in this, wow, scary group, guys. I had no idea that they were this scary, this bad, this evil. I'm freaked out. But the fact that they're all coming onto this particular chat right now at one time is also scary.
Yeah, absolutely.
That they would all know to come and talk and to harass us right now, right?
Yeah, yeah. And it goes on further to talk about his tactics and, what he does to people. And this is very, very, very detailed. Okay, this is out there. It's been out there for a while, but it's never talked about. But this individual let me in on it and said, you need to use this. You need to use this. And it goes on to say how Mr. Gregg, he omits very critical scientific facts when he does his debunking. Now, come on, man. Whenever you're omitting very critical information, if you really are trying to debunk something, then you shouldn't be omitting anything. And if you watch how he debunks my videos or Steve's or Chris's, he says that he's worried about copyright strikes. No, He's not worried about copyright strikes. He's worried about showing all of the information.
He's right now talking trash in chat, okay? Let me make a very clear point. You, buddy, are the one that started talking smack.
Absolutely.
So you can only talk so much smack before somebody reacts. I reacted.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay? I also said I'm willing to keep it chill. Are you? And you won't.
Well, no,
He
see,
won't.
that's just
He
it,
just
guys.
keep talking.
Well, they've got to. What they do is they know all our buttons to push and everything. The fact that they're this sophisticated and it took that much effort to combat them in 2014. And by the way, I had no idea this world existed in 2014.
Yep.
I was ignorant to all of it. So when I came into that, I didn't know any about any of these people. I'm like, I feel like a stupid little lamb sometimes. Just jump, I do make these mistakes, and people just, man, they just want to just kill you and just. I mean, it's horrible what they do.
Well, what you have to understand is
suicide yet.
What you have to understand is these people. Listen, what you have to understand, these people are ordered to do this. This is their damn job. Now, I don't know what possesses an individual to get involved in this type of operation. Maybe, maybe there's some type of a agent for a government. Maybe they were promised something, during the cataclysmic events of, what might happen. Maybe they were promised a bunker. Maybe they're mentally insane. But here's my point. How do you go from debunking New Zealand cornflakes in your mother's basement to debunking Planet X?
Well, and again, you have to remember, look at who he associates with. Just look at all the different people that Daza associates with. They're all on our chat right now. I'm just waiting for Daza to show up.
Oh, he's sleeping. He suffers from chronic fatigue syndrome. Anyways,
all the people that are watching, you need to look at who's on here. They attack each one of us with a little message in their hand. This is the message we're going to try to stick to Scott. This is the message we're going to try to stick to Chris, Steve, Jeff, Nige. It's very, very straightforward. They can't even get off message, if you'll notice.
Nope.
It's just like a guy standing up at a teleprompter, and if they have to get off of message, they don't know what to say.
Exactly. And there are scripts. I've uncovered a shitload on this whole entire operation. And there are books. There are scripts for these people to use. Some of them are independent. They've gotten sucked in as little cronies from the handler. And they're kind of like little freelancers. But the majority of them hang out on his Facebook page that he has set up for the privacy where they can all congregate. Well, little does he know that I have two people that are in his group. They work for me. They've been working for me for 4 months. And they've been giving me all of the information, what these people go in and talk about on his Facebook page and in the comment sections of his videos.
So we have a mole collecting data and has been for
I have
quite
two
a
of them.
while.
I have
And
two
every
of them.
one of these people are putting themselves in a bad situation. The good thing that I've been able to do.
Real quick, Chris.
Go ahead, please.
Here's the thing, real quick. They don't know which one of these two people, out of all of the little scumbags that roll with them, they don't know which two people continually report back to me with screenshotted information. So here's the deal, Daza. I have two moles in your organization reporting back to me twice a day on everything your people do. So now what are you going to do? You going to get rid of all of them? Because you don't know which two they are.
Hey, you got to look at the chat.
Oh, man, I'm not even worried about it. I'm not even worried about it. Right there, baby. The two sides.
Not that chat.
Oh, look, Jersey's on message. It's because I spread fear and I steal money, guys. That's the tag that's supposed to stick to me.
Tuh.
That's my message. Stay on message, Jersey.
Yeah, so, bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, we know what's going down. And if you want to consider us victims, whatever, we are not going to stop our investigations. We're not going to stop what we're doing. I'm not going to. I have the right. I have the God-given right to do the investigations and the research. I have the right to maintain my YouTube channel and do what I want to do. And all of us do. Now, the same can apply to them, but it's not like they want to enter into a debate. They always say, "Oh, well, we'll debate you," but it doesn't start or end that way.
No, it doesn't in any way, shape, or form. At the end of the day, they're being malicious about it. They're being nasty about it, and they're saying they're not, and they are.
All right, look, Scott Ferguson, I'm sorry for freaking you out. You go your own way, I go mine. If I've swore and I've said something racist to anybody, I apologize. And I apologize for any other swearing I have done. I did say it for 30 days. I'm not going to swear. I'm sorry folks think I'm mentally deranged. Well, welcome to YouTube, because y'all ain't friggin' normal either. Come on.
Yeah,
that's all I have to say.
Listen,
no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if this has caused this much problem. Scott, please accept my apology. I will go my own way. Please leave me alone. I really don't want to deal with it.
Let's all put that out there. I've made fun of Astronomy Live. Now I'll go on the record. I respect the man for his intelligence, his accomplishments, but he placed himself into a very critical arena with all of us. The same goes for Daza. The same goes for all the others. Now, I'll have to lend another apology because, I made some pretty snide remarks against Mr. Sean Hufford. Sean, if you're listening,
Good job.
I didn't realize that you had a medical condition. I'm very sorry for that. I wish you the best. I wish there was something that could be done. You look pretty healthy, but if you do suffer from a medical condition, very sorry for that.
Daza just showed up, everybody. Isn't that great?
I'll probably pay for that in hell, but I'll make my peace with God one day soon. So, as far as Astronomy Live goes, we did torture him a little bit, but he dished it out too. So
we made a mistake. Look,
I was just
not going to happen to you again. All right.
Yeah, I was informed this afternoon that he's walking around packing a pistol because he's scared for his life. Well, there's nothing to be scared of. Yeah, there's nothing to be scared of. Go about your business, continue with your career. The same goes with everybody else. Go on with your life. If you want to make a video about debunking us, well, we can't stop you from doing that. But whenever it starts to involve very serious personal attacks against me, Steve, Chris, or whoever, well, if you throw mud, you're going to get mud thrown back at you. So
the problem with this is that it damages your life, it damages your credibility, it damages your, they're going after things that have been long sacred protected things in the law, right? And you can't just go around making libelous statements about folks, and it's gotten out of control, guys. And I want them to stop harassing and cyberbullying me. That's what I'm asking for tonight.
I mean,
Well,
at the
they're
end of the
probably-
day,
Yeah.
you know, at the end of the day, if we done it the other way round and they were running a channel and we cyberbullied them, it'll be a different matter now, wouldn't it? But it's fine for them to do it to us.
That's what doesn't make sense, and that's why I get so angry.
Well, yeah, I mean, each in,
If folks were debunking in a way that was far kinder. I think this all started a few years ago with when we all started our channels. This is all a bunch of aggression that's kind of all built up within the community. I sense that. And I think it's too difficult for certain people to come to the table, including me, calmly, kindly, to debate something. And I think we've all lost that, me included. I'm the worst example. If we could somehow get back to that, somehow, yeah, I think we could make progress. But where we're at now, I think we just need to apologize and move forward. That's my recommendation.
I mean, I agree with you, but here's the thing. We do not owe these people a debate.
No, we don't.
I understand that. I guess what I was trying to say was it would be different if folks were coming to us in a debate format rather than a troll format, because we've reacted in a troll format. Anyway, it would have been nice. That's all I'm saying. Okay, I'll be quiet.
Let's say that somebody took one of our white papers that we both know is a real physicist, okay?
Sure.
And they took one of our white papers that we worked on, and they came back and said, here's why your white paper is wrong. You think that you and I would read that email?
It depends on how it is.
No, if it was honestly and politely put to, hey,
yes, I have read quite a few. It's about
here are the 5 natural laws that you're violating in this theory. Let's talk about it and see if we can improve the paper. Somebody wants to help us improve our white papers? Please do.
Steve, I agree. It's all about your approach. I had mentioned Right Side Up. I like his approach. I think he's a great channel. I think he's a great debunker. I somehow can reason with this guy. I can come to the table and reason with him. And I think that's important. And I think that the spirit of good debate and kindness was lost a long time ago. And it's just become a fight between who's right and who's wrong. And I think we all have the right to talk about whatever in a nice way on YouTube. If folks want to debunk, I guess I'm really just asking, I mean, if you really want to debunk, can you do it like a little bit nicer? I mean, can you change your approach?
That ain't gonna happen.
But it's still something I can ask, because like I just said, Right Side Up, dude, I'm willing to talk to him. I'm willing to negotiate with him and work with him. Do you see what I mean? And maybe we just need a representative from each side. Is that what we need to do? I mean, or do we just need to completely get out of the debate and go our own ways? I'm just saying, I think if there was to be any communication, there should be a good representative from each team. But I don't think we're at that point yet. And I guess my whole point is, and hey, I haven't been nice. I've been rude. I haven't been approachable. So I understand why folks are hesitant. And yeah, I wish in a perfect world that this would work this way. But you're right. It's probably not going to happen. I'll be quiet now. Go ahead.
Well, I don't think it's ever going to reach that point, and none of us have the time to get into these no-win situation debates, because these people have assignments. So no matter what evidence that we come up with, no matter if one of these planets crash down on their house, it's still going to be the same old song and dance. So there will be no debates. There will be no more wasting my time. I'm going to continue doing what I do. They can continue doing what they do. So that's the bottom line. The situation, in my eyes, has become very critical to the point where it's getting ridiculous. But I am going to continue each and every day to do my research, do my investigations, make my videos. They have the right to do it also, and they're going to continue slandering us, and because that is what they're paid to do. That's like you going to your job and telling your boss, hey, you know what? I don't want to do things your way, but yet you're the one paying me. So that's the same analogy right here. They can't do things their way because they have orders. Protocol, baby.
And I think there's more important things to be trolled, like how the government lies to us about everything.
Mm-hmm.
What about the Federal Reserve? Let's start trolling them.
You know, at the end of the day, we're being lied to through our teams about everything. But that's not important, you know, about Obama, about Trump, about absolutely everything. But yeah, that's fine. Let them get on with it. Don't worry about it. Let's just go and pick on some people that are trying to show what's in the skies. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, we can go all the way back to the Bible, okay? I think we've been lied to and pre-programmed from day one. But at this point,
isn't that funny how that's the conclusion you start to come to whenever you dive into one of these rabbit holes?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's the finding out that all the things that you kind of were led to believe as your core beliefs. You know what I mean?
I think all of us are questioning that right now. Yes, because regardless of Nibiru or whatever this thing is called or phenomenon, we've got all kinds of Obama gates and pedo gates and this gate and that gate, right? And by the way, when people kind of think that this is like me freaking out, this is my personality. I'm very intense. I'm sorry. I have 12 years singing, acting, dancing, theatrical training. I'm in people's faces. That's just how I am. Maybe I'll tone it down for a few of you. I apologize. Okay, so with that regard, what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, you can see a very clear pattern right now on Earth with every one of us. We'll put all this stuff aside. Things aren't right. Things aren't normal. We are, as a people, uncovering more and more data all of the time that things may not be as we were told as growing up in the institutions that we were all raised in, that maybe some of that was deliberately to keep something hidden or to deliberately do like a psychological, you know, mind control, et cetera, control the masses. There was a specific reason, and I think we're all coming a little bit to light of some of these things because of the technology we have available to us. I couldn't talk to folks in New Zealand, you know, how many years ago this quickly. Now I could just boom, I'm talking to you. I can send you video. You can see me. Hallelujah, right? We can cook together online, right? So it's something that's so fantastic that we have now that we can actually have the ability to see more than we ever have. And I think, yes, things are coming to light. And yes, that's exciting. And I do think we should be more focused on what is wrong? What's going on, man? So I don't know. I find that exciting. And yes, I am supposed to be here to bring balance to the force. And I've not done a good job. I'm sorry.
Well, you know, you don't have to apologize for, you know, any type of shortcomings because that's something that they would want all of us to do.
Well, bro, on one hand, though, I have said some mean things, and I just
all have.
Sorry.
But whenever you're attacked, what do you expect? You know,
well,
and
no, man. Listen,
well,
guys, this isn't honest colleagues coming together for a debate and being sorry. And I appreciate your heartfelt stuff, Chris, because I know your heart.
Thanks
You're
for
awesome.
listening.
But these are the thing that's occurring to me is how dangerous these people are. It has become to the point where the cyberbullying is getting to the point where you know. Seriously, I don't know if we should be afraid, or are we going to walk into a convenience store because of the slander that they sent it against us? Is somebody going to attack? You know what I mean? It's like it's dangerous.
Totally,
We have to stop.
Well, that was my point. My point was on a video I made. Hey, let me go my own way, and I don't think I explained it very well. I had a lot of people come to me and give me individuals' personal information and physical threats of violence against the opposition that was way above and beyond anything I thought possible. And it freaked me out. Like, yeah, there really is some badness going on. And it has nothing to do with me or Scott from the Nibiru channel. There's a lot worse people out there on both sides. And that's where I was like, whoa, we need to chill now. So your point is well taken, Steve.
Yeah. And so, but I already know, you know, I don't, you know, it's like, and then like they want to invade our chat room, right? So it's like they want to bust in and they're rude. It's just, no, we don't want you in our chat room because this is our chat room.
True.
Go make your own chat room.
I gotcha. Well, it would be one thing if people were nice, but if they're not, they need to go, and that's it.
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, in my chat room, I have these individuals calling my subscribers, you know, like women, like calling women filthy, stinking names, using the C word, you know, telling them they're crazy, they're this, they're that, and blah blah blah. Yeah. Well, you know, and I mean, there was even a lot of trolling through the Google Plus directly to subscribers. And people were getting freaked out. They're like, who is this guy? Why is he talking to me like this? This is scaring me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what they are paid to do. So we've spent quite a bit of time discussing these individuals, and they're not going to stop because this is what they do. Now, they have every right to believe in what they want to believe in, and we have every right to do and believe in what we believe in. But there is one thing that is crystal freaking clear. We are having some very serious issues on our planet.
We are.
I mean, just looking at the screen, you guys can see the screen now?
Yeah.
Everything, you know, just a summary for February 2017, extreme weather, planetary upheaval, meteor fireballs. Now in March, you know, we have the flooding, we have more earthquakes, we have 35 volcanoes erupting, we have these fires that are just popping up out of nowhere, burning 1 million acres. We have crazy storms that are coming out of nowhere, hitting France, putting 600,000 people without electricity. We have 2,000 people that died in Africa the other day from flash flooding. We have people dying in South America, in Peru, and Chile, all of these places. People are dying from these catastrophes. So what is the harm that we are doing by trying to investigate what the hell is going on?
And so far, the only thing that makes sense to me, after all the research and all the interviews and all the stuff we've done together, guys, the only thing that makes sense to me is that we're in a cosmic collision right now.
Yeah, we're in a very weird situation right now. Now, you know, I mean, I've been meaning to look further into this planetary alignment that we're coming up with. You know, we're going to be starting into it in about 7 days, less than 7 days, around March 16th. And it's going to be very critical, you know. And then whenever we talk about all of the coronal holes that have been opening up on the on our sun, that has been nonstop for months. And, you know, and when I talk about how it creates earthquakes and there's scientific proof and da-da-da-da-da, they call you a liar. But yet, you know, we can take a look at the earthquake map and God, man, it's just riddled. Here's all the earthquakes, ladies and gentlemen. Here's all the earthquakes in the past 7 days. I mean, can you explain that to me? What the hell is going on? Our Earth is literally being pulled apart. We have large Earth fissures that are opening up all over the world, probably a lot of them that we don't even know about. A massive one just opened up in Russia, up in Siberia, that is massive, has a huge crater with a huge fissure coming out of it, growing every single day. These events are occurring, and this is the sign of the times. This is everything that we've talked about all of last summer. each and every one of us. And now it's here.
But we're fear-mongering, bro.
Yeah.
We're fear-mongering. We're scared of the opposition. No, my point was, I want to make another point again, and I'll shut up about it. People that came to me about the opposition that were willing to hurt, physically, maim, murder, and kill the opposition on our behalf concerned me so much that that's why I said we got to stop. It's not the opposition. It's the people that don't like the opposition way before I came into the picture.
Oh, these are
That's
people
my
that
point. I got freaked out, dude.
Oh, I know. Listen, I had an individual subscriber from New Zealand that said that,
Be careful.
Oh yeah, that he knew the whereabouts of someone, and he said, please, he said, I hate this guy with a passion. Will you please give me your blessing to do this and that? And I told him, I said, no. You don't do anything like that. Even though, I've had my runarounds with Dave quite a bit, and we've also had some decent talks. And I've messed around with him. You know what I mean? I've taken my jabs at him. But when it's all said and done and the day is over, I mean, I don't want to see, anything bad happen to him. Whenever they had the major earthquake there in New Zealand, I mean, I was like, I made one comment, oh, I hope a big boulder falls on Daz's house. But, that was just being facetious. I don't want to see nothing happen.
We've all done that. You're right. We have to work on that too, because we've been bad. I apologize for doing the same.
Listen, man, I got people in the comment section that say, why don't you just go kill yourself? Just do everybody a favor and go kill yourself.
That's not cool.
Yeah. So
how do you know that one of us doesn't have clinical depression and we might actually do it?
Yeah.
Seriously, man, you guys gotta. Let's. Do you notice? And again, I'm just gonna kind of reiterate again. Everything that they're saying in the comment section right now are about character assassination and this and that and the other thing. It's like nothing about. Let's talk about what your guys' thought are on Venus, for example. What are your guys' thought on Venus? What the hell's going on with Venus? Why does it look like it's almost a moon in our sky right now?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things.
Well, part of it's because it's supposed to be close to Earth right now, right? That's part of it's. Now, I'm not an astronomer, and I know that.
You know what, though, Chris?
It's very close.
It's supposed to be coming out of our view because it's going to be directly in the line with the sun, and we only should be seeing a small sliver of it. It's very simple.
Okay. Well, you probably have a better understanding than I do.
Yeah.
Go ahead and explain. I'm not sure.
No, I'm just saying if you look at it on Solar Scope or something like that, and you see how Earth and Venus come together, by this stage in March, we should not be seeing hardly Venus right now because it's between us and the sun. Therefore, there's nothing to reflect off of.
Gotcha. Interesting.
And so the reason why I'm concerned is because it seems to be getting brighter, and we should, it should be really bright when it comes back out the other side, guys. But right now, it should be getting dimmer, and it's not.
Yeah, because it's only a little sliver in the sky.
But instead, it's like this it shouldn't be this bright right now.
No, it's extremely bright. It's one of the brightest stars in the sky now.
So these are the obvious things, or like to Jeff P's point, right? It's like, we talk about the artificial lighting system. We can all look up and see that big halo in the sky. It doesn't take a rocket scientist or astronomer to see a big red freaking halo around the sun, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we had things we're making up. You can look up in the sky yourself and see them.
I mean, last night we had the big halo around the moon.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I went out there and I saw that, and just talking about Venus real quick. Might as well just throw this up there. If you look right here, this is the phases of Venus right now for 2017, March 3rd, March 13th. We're kind of in between. So this is what we should be seeing of Venus.
You guys see what I'm talking about there?
Yeah.
It should almost disappear from our sight.
I mean, we should be, you know, it's like a small crescent.
And this is the kind of stuff that people need to see. We need to keep an eye on this. We don't know what's going on there, guys. There's, like, our physicist is saying, Chris, I think that she's saying that we believe that there could be ionization happening with Venus because of the proximity of another magnetic force, right? We've also heard that it could be due to any number of other things, but the one that I think is most plausible is ionization.
But we've also been told by somebody that we all know that it's Earthshine.
I mean, right now, Venus should be, you know, a very sliver, a very crescent, very small sliver in our sky, but yet, you know, it's like
Chris has to unmute, by the way. Sorry, Chris. Sorry, guys.
I just don't know.
Sorry.
Go
ahead. Sorry, dude.
When it comes to Venus right now, I mean, it's just, I mean, we could see, you know, we're right between the 3rd and the 13th here, looking at the crescent shape of Venus, what we should be seeing. And, you know, whenever we look up into the sky, you know, it just looks like a big freaking headlight. You know, so once again, you know, we continue with our investigations, trying to get answers. You know, what's wrong with that?
Again,
you know, and I'll tell you this much, man. I know each and every one of us I've never said in any of my YouTube videos, this is the end of the world. I don't use that word doomsday. I don't use the word apocalypse. But what I do inform people is it's probably best to be prepared in some way or another. Me and Jeff P. had a very long conversation about this during the whole Oroville Dam situation. I was very worried about, you know, Jeff, and I have some very good friends of mine that live in Yuba City and Marysville. And I mean, these people got caught up in a very serious situation. Nobody was prepared. There were a lot of elderly people that were not cared for, that didn't know what was going on. They had nowhere to go. They didn't know what to do. So my main game is, listen, we do need to be prepared. Our government in this country opened up a space weather office that we've never heard a damn thing from this government office. But why open it if we're not going to hear anything from it? What are they doing? They're not saying anything, are they? Have any of you heard anything that has come out of this office?
Not at all. And why is space weather a national security issue? And why is the weather a security issue? You know, at the end of the day, what's going on if it's a security issue?
Yeah, exactly. You know, and we all agree that we have some very freaky things happening with our jet stream. Our jet stream, you know, in my eyes, has been so erratic. It's all broken apart. I mean, I was just showing it. It's all broken apart in our northern hemisphere. It's causing very, very severe weather all around the world. Is it being man manipulated by HAARP? We don't know. Is it being manipulated?
Did you guys see the trailer for the movie coming out this fall about weather war?
Oh my God, are you serious?
Did you see that? Yeah, a big
No,
movie about weather war. Yeah.
I didn't see it.
If you haven't seen it yet, you will see it. I think it's called, what the hell is it called? I'll remember in a minute. Just give me a minute to think of it. But it's a story of worldwide artificially created weather havoc.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
so the military has created patents I can refer you to right now for manipulating the weather for war.
Oh yeah, they started that back in Vietnam.
I mean, all you have to do, again, it's like, it's funny in a way, because it's like when you have such overwhelming data, you know, you can be wrong on one or two things and still be right about the conclusion that you come to. That's the other thing that I notice is, like, just because you get one thing wrong, if I have 9 pieces of data that is damning evidence and one piece of data that's not so good, doesn't mean it still means I'm right. Just means I had one bad piece of data. Right?
Exactly. Nobody's perfect, man. You know, nobody's perfect. Like in a conversation I had today, scientists make mistakes. Mathematics can have a lot of mistakes in it. Doctors make mistakes that cost lives every day all around this world.
Do we have anyone that's a real professional astronomer within our community at all? Like they have a doctorate or a PhD or whatever in actual astronomy?
I did approach one gentleman this past summer who has an observatory built on his property, very wealthy man. He actually does astrophotography. He literally built a massive observatory. He lives in the southern mountains, Laurel Highlands, and he does astrophotography now as a hobby. And I approached him this past summer because he has a website. And he said, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've researched it myself, but under the circumstances, I have one daughter in high school and one daughter in her first year of college. I can't help you. That was the end of our conversation.
I have the same exact story. He actually approached me, guys. He was going to help us. He was actually going to start pointing out the different places where we wanted to do astronomy and have professional astronomy involved. He was getting ready to work with us. And then one day he just called and said, I can't do this. That's it.
Yeah, so that makes you wonder, doesn't it?
I cannot get a professional astronomer to work for me because they're terrified. They're terrified, man.
You know, I've done a story on all of the scientists and astronomers who have mysteriously lost their lives since the beginning, you know, dealing with Robert Harrington. And my last count was 126. And there's another horrible story out there that's been going on for the last 10 years, dealing with the deaths of all of these holistic doctors with cures for cancer, because, you know, that disrupts big pharma, big pharmacies.
It's not profitable to be healthy, man.
Exactly. It's very scary, you know, with the chemtrailing situation. You know, whatever the hell they're doing, whatever the hell they're spraying in the skies cannot be healthy. It just can't. It's not normal. It's not part of nature. It's artificial. So, you know, once again, you know, people that investigate chemtrails, they're under fire, just like us investigating, you know, Planet X, just like people who investigate UFOs. You know, one topic I want to bring up real quick, and I'm a big fan of David Wilcock. I think he's just absolutely fantastic. I think he's like the smartest man in the world. But, you know, recently in one of his last seminars, I mean, he came right out and said that, you know, my life has changed dramatically because of the information that I've uncovered with our solar system, extraterrestrial life, and whistleblowers from different governments that have come to him, released information. He publicized it. Well, now Dave lives with a security team. He doesn't go out. He doesn't have a normal life anymore, but he's accepted it. And, you know, I mean, I listen to every seminar. I listen to everything he puts out. And it's incredible information. And he did a piece a few years ago, I think 2 years ago. He did a big seminar, put it on YouTube. I watched every minute of it. and it was about every single planet in our solar system, from Pluto all the way to the inner solar system, how every single planet has changed drastically. And he had scientific proof. And I mean, like, the space photographs, you know, taken from these probes. I mean, analyzing these planets. Solid proof, man, that every single planet in our solar system has been perturbed, has heated up. Now, what are we supposed to say? I've brought that up before, and I was told, no way.
Just
No
pull
way.
up, all you got to do is pull up the ecliptic plane, right? Pull up and look at it sideways, and all the planets are flat on it, right? Except for Pluto. Pluto takes this big dive south of the ecliptic.
Yeah.
That's what we mean by planetary perturb. Okay? That's why oh geez, I can't remember the name of the planets right now. Neptune. That's why it has a perturbed. That's all it means. It doesn't mean that the planet's shaking. It just means that it's being drawn below the south of the ecliptic. And these are just very simple. This is what led the team at Caltech to the Planet 9 theory that they released. And you can see the slow release of information. Now we have TRAPPIST-1. And I mean, you know, guys that are sitting in this and have been watching it every day, like this group right here has been doing, okay? We can see a counterfeit from a mile away.
Oh, yeah.
And it's getting to the point now where, you know, I'm not so quick to jump. I used to be really quick to jump to a conclusion. I've really learned to slow that down. But I will tell you, I really do believe that this is going to take several years to get through. There won't be a day when it's like, Nibiru is here.
Yeah,
I just don't believe that's going to happen.
You're absolutely right. This will take years for, I don't even want to use the word for a completion. I mean, I know for a fact on some information that I've been getting in for months, that, you know, we're going to go through a very, very critical period that's going to be coming up very, very soon, going into the late spring and early summer. And this is going to stretch out all the way through the fall, and then possibly for a few years, because, you know, these planets just don't race right out of our solar system. This is a very, very, you know, very, very touchy subject. We don't have the deep scientific evidence, you know, because we know NASA probably has most of it. I actually think that they don't know a lot, and they're running and they're scrambling.
Well, Ned,
every minute of the day.
There's that, but, you know, let's just take another thing, okay? Like asteroids, okay? Simple. Look, you can go to the Near Earth Object Program. You can pull up the list of asteroids. Anybody can do this in the world from JPL, right? You go on there, and what you're going to see is that most of the asteroids on that list have been discovered since 2015, and even a higher, like, you're going to be surprised how many were just discovered in the last 2 months. The question is, are we going into a debris field? Not, is Nibiru real or not? The debris field is what the problem is, right? But people, they don't want to look at the obvious fact. How do you end up discovering over half of your asteroids in the last 3 months? How does that happen?
I know. I mean, there's been a lot, man. There is so much happening within our inner solar system. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. We got
comments. Scott, you're about as old as I am. Do you remember in school, I remember the Halley's Comet was one that we knew about, right?
That's the only one I ever heard about.
That's the only one I heard. And then Hale-Bopp, when it came up in the 90s, I remember that was the other comet I paid attention to, right? Now it's like we got 20 freaking comets floating around the inner solar system. What happened?
Yeah, we got a lot of big rocks flying around, man. I mean, look, all you got to do is, you know, just pull up Soho or the LASCO and just, you know, run it for a week stretch and look at all of the large meteors. I mean, me and Chris were looking at it the other day, and I was showing him the size of some of these asteroids that were, man, they're like the size of planets, because when you compare them to the size of the sun, wow. I mean,
how do we have a planet Ceres sitting just beyond the orbit of Mars, right? And not really know much about it until like what? I think I first started hearing about it when they sent that spacecraft out there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying, it's like we didn't talk about dwarf planets in high school. Do you guys remember that, or in college?
Listen, man, I just started hearing about dwarf planets just recently. You know what I mean? I delved into the whole Eris planet, the whole issue with Pluto. Thought that was kind of weird that, you know, they kicked Pluto out of the out of the solar system. For what? I mean, they had a whole congregation voting on whether or not to kick this little planet out of our solar system. So once again, they've changed everything that has been taught for centuries. Why?
I know.
That just doesn't make any sense. An exoplanet, dwarf planet, whatever. It's still a big round ball in the sky, in space, you know. But once again, we're going to continue, just like astronomers, just like scientists. You know, they don't get ridiculed for going to work every day and doing what they're paid to do. Why should we?
Well, again, I'll just point out to the subscribers that are watching this that it's just amazing, because every one of the kind of like trolls or people that harass me, as soon as they heard that we were on this chat together, they're all in here just blasting our comment section. It's so sad, because we have so many subscribers that want to really comment on stuff, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I get those messages and emails from my subscribers, and you know, they say, well, look, you know, I wanted to say this, I wanted to say that, but you know, whenever I do make a comment, I get attacked.
Our subscribers have to send comments, privacy strikes, copyright violations, harassment charges, whatever, just like the rest of us do. So if they want,
totally agree, Chris.
We all have to participate. I don't know how else to take care of it. You guys, I got to drop. I have to call my attorney. I'm not kidding. I got to go. So
yeah, we're gonna wrap this up. Listen, brother Chris, I'll be talking to you.
Right.
Next day you get off, man. You just give me a holler.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, man.
You take care, Chris.
Okay, bye. See y'all. Thanks.
Chris.
Yeah. So, any last words? You know, Steve, I'll give you the floor. Then, you know, Nige, I'll give you the floor, and we'll wrap this up for the night. I mean, I think we've made, you know, a fantastic presentation. I mean, it's kind of sad that it had to be, you know, dirtied up a little bit with some dirty laundry, but I mean, you got to clean the laundry, you got to clean it up. So,
yeah,
go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, the fact of the matter is that we're all at risk. It's the whole world that's at risk, and it's incumbent upon all of us to try to find the truth. And we all have our different approaches to how we run our organizations and what we're doing. But let me tell you something. This group of men have been my friends. And, you know, Scott, if it wasn't for you when they took my channel down in December, I wouldn't be here anymore. You know, you helped me get my channel back up. Remember that?
Yep, no problem, man. No problem.
And I'm saying that if you saw how much we loved each other in the background, you guys, and how much we really don't sit around like we just like are amazed at all the things we're seeing. I'll show something to Scott and he'll freak out, and then he'll show me something and I'll freak out. And we have a good collaboration going, and we just hope that you can see that we're working together and that we're doing it because we care about people, man.
Absolutely.
That's for sure.
I agree
100%.
Good, Nige, baby, you got the floor.
Well, at the end of the day, all we're trying to do is show what is there, and why we've been ridiculed. If we turn the tables on these people, you know, they wouldn't like it. It isn't fair. You know, it's called free speech, and people do make mistakes, and yeah, we do make silly mistakes, but that's the way life is. You know, it's a debate at the end of the day, and this affects every single person on Earth. And you can disagree with me all you like. You've only got to look in the skies for yourself, and you can see that there is something majorly wrong. And if you can't see it, well, you know, buy a pair of spectacles.
Yeah. Clean them glasses, man.
That's for sure. At the end of the day, there is something majorly wrong. In every single one of my videos, all I'm trying to do is show you what is there. And if you think it should be on a camera in any way, shape or form, yeah, I need to take some more drugs, and so do you.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. You know, well, I'm going to give my closing here. It's going to be short and sweet, maybe. But, you know, Daza, I know you got your ears on. I know you got your minions out there. Very sorry that we had to take pot shots at you today. But, you know, listen, man, you do the same. Everybody does the same. So sooner or later, it's going to have to come to an end. But I don't think that we're going to see the end to this until whatever's in our sky presents itself in the most horrible way, when you can't deny it, when the earthquakes are going to continue in your country. You just had some horrible flooding, more earthquakes, more damage. There will be more loss of life. We're losing thousands of people every day to these catastrophes. And that's horrible, because everybody deserves the right to live. We're human beings. We're not machines yet. They're coming up with that each and every day. But when it's all said and done, we're still going to be the same men and women on this planet. In any event, whether it's Nibiru, Planet X, a brown dwarf, or just a hurricane ripping through your country, or a massive earthquake devastating the land. The bottom line is, we're all human. We're all going to still be here. One way or another, we're going to have to get along. We don't have to like each other, but we're going to have to get along. And we all have different beliefs. Nobody's out here fear-mongering. I want people to prepare for the worst. You know, and for a man that lives in a country where you do have a lot of threats of weather and these earthquakes, I would be on guard all the time. I would be fully prepared for anything. And, you know, I'm so worried about the people in California, what's about to happen in that state with the snow melt and the flooding, along with the earthquakes. It's like the triple whammy for these people. And I think about it every single day. I'm not a fear monger. I do have a big heart. I do care deeply about people that I don't even know. So damn us to hell for that. Damn us to hell for trying to put the information out there to help people prepare and possibly understand the unknown, because you don't know it all. I don't know it all. Astronomy Live doesn't know it all. Our physicist doesn't know it all. Only God knows it all.
Agreed.
We're going to all continue, no matter what the consequences, no matter what's at stake. We have to continue.
We're all past the point of return, Scott. This group is past the point of return. We can't.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Absolutely, no doubt about it. But does anybody else have anything to say? I'm actually kind of sad right now.
Yeah, I would like to thank each and every one of you, like Chris, Jeff P, Steve, yourself. Thank you very much for tonight. It's been really appreciated, getting the word out there. We need to get the word out there. I ain't really worried about the planets because they're coming. You know, people are going to argue that point, and they'll argue to the cows that come home, and that planet lands on their house because it's going to. But at the end of the day, I'm not really worried about the planets because there's nothing we can do about it. But what I am actually worried about is what they're going to do to try and hide those planets. And you can argue that fact as well. Obama wants to go to war with Russia. Now he's gone. Now it's Trump's turn. So at the end of the day, North Korea wants to kill everybody. Russia wants to kill everybody. USA wants to kill everybody. What's going on? There is going to be a massive big war. And at the end of the day, there is something big going to happen. Don't worry about the planets. It's the big distraction that I'm worried about.
Yeah, the element of surprise. I don't like to be surprised by things. I don't think every man, woman, and child on the face of this earth doesn't deserve to be surprised by, you know, what's happening. I know all of those people in France that just withstood that huge storm. I know they were surprised by what happened. 600,000 people without power. I think that's the biggest power outage from a storm I've ever seen. And I was in Hurricane Andrew in South Florida when that storm rolled in, and that was catastrophic. So,
and it makes you wonder if it's actually man-made.
Yeah.
You know, they can manipulate the weather because they done it in Beijing on the Olympics. They seeded the clouds so it didn't rain. They done it in the UK Olympics so it didn't rain. You know, they've actually stated this. They actually stated that HARP is a weather manipulation program, and they've actually stated the other day that they've actually confirmed about chemtrails. So, you know, they've lied all this time about it. Why?
Well, I think man has overstepped his bounds when it comes to nature. You know, that's definitely a fact. You know, I mean, I love science and everything, but you know, when you're doing things like that, manipulating the weather, well, I could see if it had some really dire consequences. You know, okay, make it rain on the crops so we don't have a drought, and people can grow food and feed, you know, feed the hungry. You know, that's another thing that I don't understand in our world, how there can be one single living soul on the face of this earth that is hungry and doesn't have food. When we go to a fast food place, order a bunch of junk, eat half of it, and throw the rest of it away. But yet there are people all over this planet that are starving to death. Little kids, little babies, little children. People.
But what they do, they get
beings.
really, really good food and they throw it away in massive big landfills.
Yeah.
Instead of feeding people, you know, like big supermarkets, they get food that's really, really good and they throw it away because it's not the right color. You know, it's terrible. It's disgusting.
If you really do think about it, and I think about this a lot, there should not be one single person on the face of this planet that should be poor, that should be homeless, or that should be hungry. We throw away, well, not we, the governments of this world throw away trillions and trillions of dollars fighting, you know, war. It's big business, but why should people go hungry? Why should people go homeless? It shouldn't happen.
But well, that's exactly true.
Hey,
but
guys,
most of the wars.
Jump off. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you guys.
Yeah. Go ahead, brother. You give me a holler tomorrow. It was good having you on.
Yep, good to be with you tonight.
Look after yourself, Chris. Steve.
Yeah, it's a shame, man. It is a shame, some of the things that go on in our world. I never really thought about it when I was a young kid. I really never thought about it when I was a young teenager. I never thought about it as a young adult. But when I did go through Hurricane Andrew, Man, and I saw that devastation. I didn't have electricity for 3 months. It kind of opened up my eyes.
Exactly.
You know, kind of opened up my eyes to how devastating things can be. And, you know, my father used to make fun of me because I used to go down to the city mission in Miami, and I would help cook Thanksgiving dinner down there. And we never celebrated Thanksgiving anyways. You know, we just would go out to dinner Thanksgiving, you know, evening. So I chose to, you know, go down with a few friends, work in the kitchen. I'm a great cook. And, you know, that made me feel fantastic to do that. My father used to make fun of me for doing that. And I used to go down and do the same thing for Christmas, you know, and it put a very big warm spot in my heart. And I started to realize all of the bad things that are going on in our world, and it started to change me, started to change the way that I think. So maybe that's why I am so in depth into finding out what's happening to our planet now, because I do honestly want to help people. I do not want to see people surprised by, you know, what's going to happen. Simple as that. Damn me to hell for caring that much. But in the end, we're all going to die one day. We're all going to meet our maker. We're all going to turn back into that little form of energy and move on into the next life. But for right now,
totally agree, Scott.
Yeah, for right now, brother, this is my life. This is my energy. And I think we all have the right to continue doing what we're doing. The bottom line, you know. I hope people see.
Shame a few people. It's a very big shame that a few people want to sit there and troll, you know, what you are passionate about.
Yeah, exactly. But you know,
but Scott,
like
not being rude, I've got to go, man. And
yeah,
really appreciate it for everything. And I don't want to be rude.
Oh, don't be bloody
Thank you very much.
rude. Listen, brother, it was good having you on here. Good talking to you. You know, you become a true brother. And
thank you very much.
Bottom line is, man, we're going to continue doing what we're doing. I'll be talking to you. Shoot me an email when you get some time off.
Sure will, mate. Not a problem.
Take care.
You look after yourself. Take care.
I will.
Bye-bye.
I will. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. We had, you know, a lot of people in the Planet X community here tonight, you know, voicing their opinion on a lot of things. But like I said, when it's all said and done, we're all human beings. We all have a difference of opinion. We all see things differently. We all care about different things. But one way or another, in the end, we're all going to be in the same place on this earth. This is the planet that God gave us. We don't take care of it. We don't take care of our people on this planet like we should. None of us are perfect. None of us. But with that said, I'm very happy for all of the people who did attend, that did tune in. Hey, even all you troll babies, I know you guys had an operation to complete. You did what you had to do. God bless all of you. And I hope you accept all of the apologies that were dealt out today. Astronomy Live, Sean Hufford, Daza, and all the rest. Yeah, we go head to head. But again, when it's all said and done, we're all going to end up in the same place together. So you guys keep up with your assignments. We will keep up with ours. And someday, maybe we'll meet somewhere in the middle. This is Scott from the Nibiru channel. Keep yourself updated. Keep yourself informed. Thank you for watching.